If you talk to yourself when no one is around, psychology says there's something about you that most people misunderstand. You're not weird. You're not unstable. And you're definitely not doing it by accident. Talking to yourself out loud is often a sign of a mind that works with more depth, speed, and intention than average. Think about it. You don't just think quietly all the time. You explain things to yourself. You question yourself. You narrate what you're doing. Sometimes you encourage yourself. Sometimes you correct yourself. And sometimes your thoughts are so active that keeping them silent feels impossible. At some point, you probably wondered, is this normal? Psychology's answer is simple. Yes, and it matters. Most people experience thoughts as loose feelings or unfinished ideas. Their inner world is foggy and reactive. Yours isn't. Your mind wants clarity. It wants structure. It wants ideas to have order, sound, and direction. And when silence can't hold that complexity, your voice becomes the tool. That's the first thing people get wrong about self-talk. You're not speaking because you're confused. You're speaking because you're organizing. Have you noticed how problems suddenly feel clearer once you say them out loud? How solutions appear while you're explaining something, even if no one is listening? That's not coincidence. When you speak, your brain activates systems tied to logic, sequencing, and self-monitoring. In simple terms, your voice slows chaos into structure. Noise turns into meaning. You don't talk to yourself because you lack control. You talk to yourself because your mind refuses to stay disorganized. This is also why silence can feel uncomfortable for you. Not because you're anxious, but because your brain is constantly working, sorting, refining, improving. Pause for a moment and be honest. Have you ever felt calmer after saying something out loud, even when no one answered? That relief isn't random. That's your cognitive system doing exactly what it was designed to do. If this already feels personal, you're not alone. Now let's go deeper. People who talk to themselves often have a highly active internal dialogue. Their thoughts don't just exist. They debate. They test ideas. They challenge assumptions. When you speak to yourself, you're not imagining conversations. You're externalizing reasoning. Hearing your thoughts gives them shape. And once they have shape, you can examine them. That distance creates insight. While most people let thoughts drift unchecked, you interrogate yours. Does this make sense? What am I missing? Is this actually true? That habit alone sets you apart. This is also why you might explain simple tasks out loud or narrate steps as you go. Your brain doesn't like ambiguity. It prefers precision. You use language the way an engineer uses blueprints, not because you're struggling to think, but because you're thinking deeply. But structure isn't the whole story. Have you noticed how you talk to yourself more when you're searching for something, solving a problem, or trying to stay focused? Whispering the name of an object, muttering instructions, talking through steps. From the outside, it can look strange. Psychologically, it's one of the most effective focus tools the brain has. When you speak out loud, you're not just expressing thought, you're directing attention. Your voice tells your brain what matters. Say a word like keys or phone, and suddenly your environment changes. Your brain filters faster. Distractions fade. Relevant details stand out. Your voice becomes a search command. Most people rely on passive attention. They wait and hope something catches their eye. You don't. You program your focus. This is why people who use self-talk often perform better under pressure. When others panic, you verbalize. When others freeze, you give yourself instructions. Your voice becomes an anchor. And this goes beyond focus. People who talk to themselves often use language to regulate emotion. You've probably caught yourself saying things like, "Calm down, it's okay," or "You've handled worse." That's not accidental, but speaking to yourself as if you're another person, you create psychological distance, and distance creates control. While others drown in emotion, you talk your way through it. You coach yourself. You question your reactions. You slow your nervous system down with words. That's advanced self-regulation. You don't rely entirely on external reassurance. You generate it internally. Even when your self-talk is critical, it's still engagement. It means you're paying attention, It means you care about growth. And there's another layer most people miss. Talking out loud strengthens memory. When you say something aloud, your brain treats it as important. It creates a stronger mental marker. That's why you repeat instructions, why you rehearse plans, why you summarize experiences to yourself. You're not just thinking, you're storing. Your mind processes life deeply, and it doesn't want meaningful information to drift away. So, what kind of mind needs to speak to function at its best? A complex one. Talking to yourself isn't a random habit. It's a system your mind built to manage depth. Simple, reactive thoughts don't need a voice. Yours do. Your mind runs scenarios, evaluates outcomes, questions, assumptions, and when that process stays trapped inside, pressure builds, so your voice releases it. People often assume silence equals intelligence. Psychology says intelligence shows up in different forms. Some people think quietly, others think verbally. You belong to the second group. You don't wait for perfect thoughts. You speak them, then refine them. That flexibility is a sign of strong cognition. It also explains why solitude feels comfortable for you. Alone, you can think freely, speak freely, explore ideas without interruption. It's not that you dislike people, it's that your mind works best without noise it can't control. There's one last trait here that rarely gets mentioned. People who talk to themselves often trust their inner voice. You don't immediately outsource your thinking. You consult yourself first. That's why long periods alone don't feel empty. Your inner dialogue is rich, challenging, and engaging. Under stress, this matters most. When things go wrong, many people shut down. You start talking, breaking problems into steps, regaining control through language. That's resilience. Talking to yourself isn't about loneliness. It's about engagement. Engagement with thoughts, with emotions, with reality. So here's the reframe that changes everything. Self-talk isn't a flaw. It's a signature. A sign of a mind that refuses to stay vague. A mind that wants clarity, meaning, and control. You were never meant to keep everything silent. When you talk to yourself, you're not escaping reality. You're engaging with it more directly than most people ever do. So next time you catch yourself speaking out loud, don't stop in embarrassment. Don't silence yourself out of shame. Understand what it really means. It means your mind is active. It means you're present. It means you're thinking deeply. You're not strange. You're not unstable. You're not alone. You're simply someone whose mind is active enough to speak. And now you finally know.